So the good news is the entire interview has been recorded audio-wise. The bad news is I just literally started to record on the video right now.
Yeah, because you know what? My reactions in this video have been probably like about as A+ as plus could be, and you just didn't want it.
It was freaking gold. It was gold, Jerry.
What it was, Barry, is you didn't want me to show you up.
I know.
Yep.
Tom, do you agree with that?
He does it to me every second week, man.
So
Yeah.
Remember all that good stuff that you were saying early on? You know, you want to say some more of that good stuff?
You want me to do the bat flip again?
The bathtub?
The bat flip.
The bat. Yeah, do the bat flip. People want to see the bat flip.
Let's like, I'm gonna measure this up now.
This is being beyond accommodating. We got to thank you for this.
I'll go this direction, right?
Oh, there.
Hang on, I got to do my part.
You know what? I hate how much you're involved in my life. I want you to know this, Barry. Like I hate.
Hang on a second. Do you want to preface this or?
Yeah, so like I've watched that highlight 600,000 times, right?
Yeah.
Like minimum. And I always it's funny. Hosey said this too. And the week that the channel Sportsnet was doing, you know, they showed the division series or whatever, like during quarantine and all that stuff. So like we were all getting calls to do interviews. So Hosey did an interview like 2 days after I did, and like he said, like my favorite thing to watch is like the dugout reactions, the fan reactions. So, and I'm 100% same way. Like, so you remember like my walk-off hit when you told me Pilar and Martin had to pay for your dry cleaning or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I watch those like dugout reactions. I always love dugout. I don't even care about the moment. I just want to see what everybody else did. So with Hosey, like when they go to the side view, I always watch the side view, and like I got to give you credit, which sucks. This is the worst part. That I think you reacted faster than anybody else on that line. Like as soon as the ball was hit, like you were like, yay! Right away, like if it was in slow motion, it was like, ah! Like little kid, like, but the work, like your jump wasn't as bad as Edwin's. If you go back and watch Eddie, like, he's like, oh. So I got to give you credit because it looked like you reacted before anybody else in the well or in the stands. Like I've literally watched what every person in every camera shot could do.
But did you notice where, see, the actual initial reaction, the jump, was very unprofessional and unfitting for my job.
Matters. Who cares?
But I said, screw it. I was a Blue Jays fan in 1977. I followed this team my whole life. That was 40 years of number one. Number two, did you notice how quickly I brought myself down? I went, oh, shit, I'll do this.
After that, I'm watching The Cop. You want to talk about unprofessional?
Yeah.
The cop behind you, like, yes. You want to like, who cares about professional, unprofessional in that moment? That moment was so sick. Like, you were allowed to do whatever the F you wanted.
What did you do? Where were you and what did you do?
I was in the hole. Go watch the dugout reaction. So I'm in the hole. And the shit that's crazy is that, sorry, I cursed. Bats and I had talked about Dyson the night before. And he was like, because he saw me in game 3, I think, or either game 2 or game 3. And he's like, I got him. And I was like, okay. He's like, as soon as I saw the change up from him, so I'm good. And I know Hosey loves like sinker ballers, right? Even if they're throwing 100,000 miles an hour. And he's like, I got the change up. I'm good. So I'm just praying Donaldson doesn't ground into a double play. I was like, please don't hit into a double play. Please don't hit into a double play. Please don't hit into a double play. And then he hits that like whatever ball like that just sneaks over Odor. And then it's crazy because they get a force out and we're like, what is the game tied? Like what's going on? So I know Hosey's going to do damage right here, right? And I don't know what it's going to look like. I know he's going to hit something hard. Like I can feel it. Like when he fouled the first pitch off, I was like, he's got him. Like I could tell he's got him. You just got to get the ball up. So I'm like glued to him. So I always do my on deck routine. Like I would time up 2 arm motions or whatever. And I'm standing there and I'm like leaning on the bat. I'm like, he's going to kill a ball. He's going to kill a ball. And as soon as he hit it, I went like this. I went like this right away. And I put my hands up. And as soon as I did that, because I know it's gone, I turned back and I look at him. And I got to see him being like, and I was like, dude, he's going to do something crazy. And then all hell breaks loose. Price is like banging my helmet. Like, no, Stroman like dunked on me. Price is like, and I just stood there and I was like this. I was like, oh my God. I'm like looking around and we all blacked out though. Like you can't, it's crazy because like I can't remember like what anybody around me did. And those are the things that I take so much pride in. Like I usually know everything everybody's doing. And like, unless I went back and watched it, I would have no idea. Like, I just remember seeing him go like, and that was it. And I'm like, I look back after, I was like, Price was like banging on my helmet. And I was like, I didn't feel that. That was
How soon after it happened did you watch the video replay? Like, did you guys run into the clubhouse to watch it?
As soon as the last bottle of champagne got popped, like I definitely did it before I got in the shower. Now, so you want to talk about some stupid stuff? I ate crap twice in that game, right? The one was up at bat, and the second one was coming out of the dugout. Like I ate it. Like you can go watch the dugout reaction after the final out. I tried to jump over, my foot got stuck because I didn't have my cleats on. I slipped, and I pow, right? So I'm about to go in the shower, and we finally like take all the things off the lockers. We're going crazy, and I get my phone, and I'm like, I have 972 text messages.
Sorry about that.
What?
Oh, 50 of them were from me, probably.
Whatever. So like, I'm like, pull it up on Twitter right away, and I'm like, oh, it's so sick, bro, dude. And I went up to Hosey. I'm like, yeah, and we were all watching it, right? And then like I go in the shower, and I'm like, I'm probably like the last guy to shower. And I'm like, why does my hip hurt? Like my hip hurts really bad. And I was like, oh, that's right. I ate it coming out of the dugout. But like it didn't hurt because of the adrenaline and stuff. Like to the point where George Poulos was so worried about the amount of pain I was in the next day when we got to Kansas City. Like he made me go see the chiropractor, like the dry needling crap that Stroman always used to do. I'm like, Georgie, I'm fine. Just leave me alone. Like it's just a little sore. Like I played through like basically I couldn't squeeze a bat last year. Not well, but like this is like nothing compared to that. He's like, no, you got to see the guy. And I was like, no. But I watched Hosey's homer that night. Easily, I watched it 150 times. Like I just kept rewinding. It was on every channel. So
that.
Wait a minute. Time out. I'm going to do the interview now. Tom, where were you when it happened?
I was in a kitchen cooking. I was training as a manager for this chain of restaurants. And I think they had me out in Ottawa. And no, it was in Windsor. I was in Windsor. So everybody was Detroit Tigers fans. And they hated the Jays.
Does it still give you the chills? Like if you rewatch any of that season, like that, those specifically the playoff games.
Yeah.
What's that like to relive it? We relive it as fans having watched it, but to actually have done it and then relive it.
The funniest thing is we all talk about it, like the guys that I'm still close with, the guys that I still like, and we're like, dude, nothing will ever be like this, even Sanchi, who went to the Astros, and granted he was hurt when, they made the run there. Like he was like, dude, it's not the same. That. I think that the best part for us, we were all like really close in like a lot of weird, hateful ways. We were like super close. Like, and I don't mean that like badly. Like we talked before the show about like the brotherly love, like how you get pissed at somebody and then you're like, he's still my brother. Like I got it. And like Stro probably like used the term brother, like he's my brother. Like he uses it too much, but I really, like I honestly felt that way. And I those, like growing up, those are my favorite kind of teams to be on. Like you felt it in high school and college sometimes, like whatever, summer ball. But like I didn't know it was possible in the big leagues. I felt it in indie ball because it's different. But like I didn't know it was possible for a team to have that kind of camaraderie, whatever you want to call it, in the big leagues. Like we just all really believed in each other, and we all came from such different. Like we all had like similar backgrounds in the sense that like the veteran players, the older guys on that team, and I kind of consider myself a veteran, even though I was like early on in my big league career. I was 30 at the time or whatever it was, 31, and like we all like had our struggles to get there. Like Donaldson it wasn't easy. Batista, it wasn't easy. Edwin,
Pilar.
easy. Yeah, like KP, Dickey, there was nobody that like, other than, I mean, Tulo and Price in the trade, but like all the, like, we had that kind of like, yeah, like we're going to figure out how to do this, and we're all allowed to be ourselves. Like that was the best part, is like, I think we all at some point identified that we needed to be ourselves to be good. And that was something that I give Jose a lot of credit for, because like, if you go look at his like discovery, when his discovery happened, he just started doing what like he was supposed to do, like what he wanted to do, instead of like what people had told him to do forever. And that was kind of how I felt for Donaldson, kind of the same thing. Like it was the first time I was allowed to be myself and like just be like goofy, crazy, stupid, boring, annoying, whatever you are, like just be it, and then show up at 7:05 or 7:07, sorry, in Toronto we played it.
Yes. What you're describing though is so rare, because whether it be a group of people at work, people in a class at school, you're going to have cliques. You're going to have one or two that they're going to make fun of or is going to be outcasts. There's going to be rivalries and people just not liking each other. Like that stuff had to happen at some point, right? But you were close enough that you would, like, because we all know about the Stroman Sanchez thing that went on, right? And whether or not they made
year, but yeah, I mean,
but like they were like this that in 2015.
And I think that's like usually like the glue guys are like somewhere like the people that you don't necessarily like think about. And I like Tolley was a glue guy. Kawa is a glue guy. Burley's a glue guy. Probably me, because like I had the ability to like connect the Latin guys and everybody, like stay.
LaTroy.
Yeah,
I think
like
LaTroy Hawkins was
like that's really important. Yeah, for sure. And like the glue guys are like kind of able to make fun of themselves. Like when somebody's like getting on somebody, like Tolley was like the king of like knowing how to make fun of himself, right? Like somebody would like be crapping on somebody, and Tolley would be like, you should see me try to hit. Like, I mean, you're like, what? And I'm like, Tolley, you're the man. Like, but we had the ability to do that. And I think nobody, like, there's some big personalities, right? And every now and then something would rub you the wrong way or whatever. But I think the best part is we all acknowledge the fact that we had a chance to be really, really good. We knew we could. We should have won the World Series, obviously, but we knew we could win the World Series, and especially when we made the trades. Everybody just looked at each other in a different way in the clubhouse, and you just understood it. I mean, and Gibby and DeMarlo and Brooke Jacoby and Pete Walker and Tim Leeper, and you're talking about guys that, like, I'd run through a wall for. Louis. These are guys that they made me feel special. Like I never forget. I give Gibby so much credit. Like, right, my second game in the big leagues with Toronto. Now, bear in mind, I've just gone through this painful like up and down with Minnesota. Like I through April, I was one of the better hitters in the American League. I hurt my thumb, and then 2 weeks later, I'm down. I'm leading the team in RBIs by 10. I get sent down in Minnesota, and I can barely squeeze the bat. Like nobody's taking me seriously. I mean, I proved that I belong there, right? Like I know that I belong there. That's part of why I ended up in Toronto, is because I had that big series against the Jays in Minnesota. But like, I remember getting called up, and I was hearing rumors of like, it's just till Saunders and Valencia turned his ankle or whatever. Like he's going to go back down in a minute. I was like, and I had told Gibby and Alex when they sent me down in spring training, I said, listen, like, I want to commend you guys. You guys have talked about character guys. Like, this is the squad. I was like, I don't know how many games we're going to win, but it's going to be really fun. And they were like, oh yeah, we see you being a part of that. And I said, good. Cause when I get there, I'm not leaving. That's exactly what I said to them. I mark my words. So my second game, I'm hearing these rumors. Oh, he's gonna get sent down, blah, blah, blah. And base double my first at bat, base hit my next at bat. I went 2 for 4 in the first game. I'm 3 for 3 in the second game with a couple stakes or whatever. And I get to the rack. We're like up 6-1 or 6-2. I get the bat rack to get my helmet out, my bat. And, you know, Gibby in his very like Gibby voice was like, hey, stay greedy right here. Like, you gotta stay greedy. And I was like, yeah, Gib, like, I'm going to stay greedy. Like, I'm not going to go get my 4th hit for me. Like, number one, like, it's sick that you said something to me right now. Number two, like, it's awesome that you know that I'm 3 for 3 and it would be like an easy way, like an easy time to give away an at bat. And like, number 3, like, your voice is awesome. So I'm going to go get a hit for you. So I literally remember, like, I was in the box and I was like, I'm like having this like grinder at bat against Esmil Rogers. He threw the kitchen sink up there and I'm like, I'm not making it out. And like, I literally felt like it was forget. And that was, you know, no offense to Gardy and Soda or anything like that, but it was the first time I felt like that guy had my back, you know? So
it was like a 6 or 7 pitch at bat that you knuckled through there for that 4th hit, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He threw the old curveball. He had gone heater, slider, heater, change, like heater, slider again. And then he tried to go like big hook, and McCann obviously didn't know that I hit curveballs pretty good. And I'm down. And I mean, I was feeling nasty. I was using Michael Saunders' batting gloves from like the back room, spikes from the back room, Go-Go's glove. Because remember, I didn't have my bag. My bag was on its way to Durham. So I had to use everybody else's crap. I was like, oh, whatever.
Did you keep using Saunders' bat?
Hell no. My bat ain't got no knocks in it. I took them all out. I'm just kidding. No, his bat, like, it was the closest thing to my model. But I'm telling you, I felt so awkward because my bat was like a full ounce heavier than his. So I'm swinging his 34-31s or 34-31.5. And like, at the time I was swinging 34-32s, but like mine were either 34-32s or 34-32.5. But like the model was like really close. But I was like, man, this is too light. And then the first night, I got to hit my first at bat. So I was like, all right, I guess I got to use it again. Because I was just going to keep rotating bats until I found one that got a hit, right? And then I just stay with it. And then like I was 6 for my first 8, and then I hit a home run. I was like 7 for 9 with Saunders' bat. And I'm like, man, I should probably keep using these things. Like, Barry, you're talking to baseball players. Like, we're all superstitious.
If I recall, Hosey once shaved his beard between innings after being like 0 for 3 or something like that. And he came out for his last at bat and he shaved. And then for the final at bat, the full beard was back again. That's how quickly.
Yeah. You're implying that he grew facial hair fast.
Yes.
But do you remember,
no, I don't remember that. Tough, man. Like, you know how hard it is to wait. All right, first of all, like, you get 4 at bats a night if you're lucky, right? Like, if you play, or if, like, you know, some guys that don't like, that are like, that get relegated to not playing every day will get like 4 at bats a week. Like Go-Go, there was a stretch where I think Go-Go didn't play for like 3 weeks. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, his next at bat coming off, like, you know, off this is going to be tough, right? And like, first of all, like, waiting 47 minutes or like an hour between competitions, meaning like personal battles, like hitting, it's like a real pain in the ass. Like, you know what kind of tricks your brain can play on you, like, while you're doing that, like, especially if you're playing some stupid position like right field where nobody hits the ball, or DH, like
DH, yeah.
Like, you know, like, so I had to, like, first of all, like, when you get up when you're young in the big leagues or a rookie or whatever, like, you don't want to like do anything stupid. So you're like, I'm DHing. Like, normally, like, when I DH in the Mexican Winter League, I would go into the clubhouse, I'd take my shoes and my pants off, and I would eat tacos and drink sodas and play video games so that I could take my mind off my last at bat.
Do you have any pictures of that by chance on your Instagram?
No.
Damn.
I hit pretty good in that league. So now I'm in the big leagues. Like, I probably like can't like I'm not gonna like be on my phone playing like solitaire when Josh Donaldson walks in to go to the back. Like, not that he would have cared, but like it was still like different. So and by Toronto, I was like my 3rd or 4th year in the big league. So like, it was a little easier. But you know the kind of stuff that can go through your brain, like when you're 0 for 6 and you have you're DHing or you're not getting a ball hit to you in the field. Like, do you have any idea how hard that is, Barry?
I was at fantasy camp, you do recall, and I spent a lot of time in right field. So, yeah.
You know who they usually put in right field in Little League?
Yeah, the kid who can't play, right?
I was gonna say the best player, but you said what you said. I don't.
Yeah, but you know what? I kind of supersede all that because I was a goalie in hockey.
I thought you were gonna say you're a Gold Glover, and I was gonna laugh really loud.
No.
Oh, come on! You weren't even there.
You were hearing too. Like, I heard "go" and I was like, yeah, Gold Glover.
Are you referring to the so-called ball that I dropped in the camera bay? You weren't even there then, were you?
Listen, I know everything.
No.
We did the interview in Tampa. Remember when I had my broken finger? I had a broken finger, and you kept trying to like put it on camera. Long story. I broke the tip, this part of my finger, and it sucks. Like, anybody that just the tip. Like, anybody that wants to like so when I would hit, like when you swing like that part of the, it sucked. Like, it hurt. And I'd already had like the thumb problem the year before, and I was like, I'm like pep talking myself into like, if you're gonna play, you need to play. Like, you're gonna like ruin your season, whatever, blah blah. The next day, I was like, you're doing the interview with me, and I'm 0 for 4. I hadn't put a ball in play going into my last at bat. I had 2 foul outs and 2 punch outs. You remember this? The 0-0 game in Tampa?
Yeah.
Marco was throwing a no-hitter into like the 9th, and we couldn't score.
When Donaldson dove into the camera bay to make the catch.
So I hit a 12th inning homer there, and I was like, my pep talk to myself on deck was like quit being a not nice word. Like, if you're gonna play, you play. Like, like that. I was like talking myself into like go on deck, and it worked out. I hit a bomb. So
Blue Jay hitting a home run in Tampa is something to celebrate.
Well, yeah, we struck. I mean, like, it's funny. We didn't score a ton of runs down there. I always hit good at the Trop. I don't know why. It's so weird. It's like the worst.
It looks like ever. I don't know. For some reason, it just looks inviting. Like, I can hit a home run here.
The club made the best Cuban sandwiches, like post BP and for lunch. Oh my God.
How good did you guys get it? Okay, as a ball player, like on a game day, how many meals a day are you paying for?
Do you know what Clubhouse dues cost?
The tips you guys give them?
You have any idea what dues were when I was in the big leagues?
No, I didn't
know this.
I paid $75 a day, so we would get $100 in meal money, and it would just like usually like if you were arbitration, you'd leave 100. So like you get your meal money, and it just all goes to the clubby. So like, I mean, usually if you go in, if you don't choose to eat lunch with your family, you eat lunch post BP, and then after the game, unless you're going out to dinner with your family. So like, technically you could eat 3 times. Like, I'm going to tell you something. I should have taken way more advantage of being a big leaguer. I didn't eat anything. Like, I'd get to the field and I wouldn't be hungry. And instead of being like, hey, let me get a rotisserie, steak chicken meal with a lobster and, the special glaze with the sauce and the extra whatever, which you can get all that in New York. Like, I would just like eat very mildly. The only times I would really crush, there were 2 things.
Yankee Stadium.
Well, Yankee Stadium's different because they literally lobster, shrimp. Like, on the getaway day, like, you could literally, there's not a food you can't find in the clubhouse at Yankee Stadium. The 2 things that I would crush at home, and Nigel used to be our chef. He used to make this like incredible, like kind of gluten-free, like little pizza with like the thick salami on it. And that was so tight. Like, if I wasn't playing, like, I would try to eat like 3 of those pregame, like right before the game, like right after BP. I literally tried to eat 3 whole ones, and I would just keep like eating them. And then on weekends, it was either Saturdays or Sundays at home, we get ribs. Now, I don't really associate barbecue and Toronto. Like, that's not like what I do. We had these ribs that were so nasty, right? I would take like an extra plate and I would put all my bones in the extra plate. And I tried to make like stacks like yay high of bone. That's the only 2 things I really crushed. And we did do a good job with buffalo chicken. Although I don't know why everybody wants to use ranch in Canada with buffalo chicken.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan
Yeah,
of that.
I never get the ranch. I used to work at a chicken wing restaurant, and I never got the ranch thing. And it's not all Canadians. It's like a 50-50 thing.
Yeah. I wasn't even allowed to bring blue cheese in the clubhouse. Like Nigel would be like, no, we only have ranch. So I was like, all right, I'll deal with it. One day they had us fill out like a food thing. They're like, what would you like to see more of? And CJ was our strength coach, Chris Joyner. And I said to him, I was like, is this serious? Like, he's like, what's your favorite food? And I was like, buffalo chicken. Like, what would you like to see more of for breakfast? I was like, buffalo chicken omelet. What do you want to see more of for lunch? Buffalo chicken quesadilla. What do you want to see more of pregame? Buffalo chicken wings. What do you want to see after game? Buffalo chicken pizza. Like, what do you want me to answer? Come on.
Hey, one more thing I wanted to ask you before we wrap this up. You look at the roster from 2015. There's like maybe 3 guys still playing in the majors, and the latest guy to no longer be in the majors is Justin Smoke, who just signed a deal to play in Japan this year. Is that something you ever would have thought? Like, would you ever consider going overseas and playing?
I always thought I was going to end up over there after my career. Like I can still hit right now. It's like it would like I feel like I'm way better now than I was 3 years ago, which is weird because my knowledge base has gone up. Like physically, I just hit, guys. Like I didn't have to run. Like obviously I play first base and DH. So like if I needed to play the corner outfield, I would. Like there's not a lot of stress on my body. I think it's crap that people think that just because you're 36 or 37 or whatever, like you can't play anymore. Like you're old. Like David Ortiz hit till he was 40. Tom Brady's playing NFL quarterback in the NFL. He's like 109. So like, you're going to tell me I can't hit anymore? Like hitting is a thing where like my brain matters more than anything else. Right. And physicality wise, like nothing's worse, nothing's slower. So, I mean, yeah, I would have definitely pictured myself going over there, but we can point back to the situation that I got put through, and part of the reason why none of the Far East teams will sign me is because of that. So like, wow. I would have definitely gone over there. It sucks. Like I would have loved that experience too. Like I would love to like get to know Japan or Korea. And I was talking to Andrew Albers the other day, and we're talking about the experience, and I've talked to a bunch of guys that have played over there. I could have definitely, like, I think I had easily 4 more years in the big leagues, because that would have got me to my 35. And I think, like I said, I'd still be okay right now. I don't shoot. Kratzy's a catcher, and this guy's hanging around. He's like 45 or whatever.
He's awesome.
Love Kratzy. That's my guy.
Yeah.
We talk all the time. I talked to him on the phone the other day.
We talked a lot about the past, okay? And let's talk about, the future real quickly. And last time I had you on, I had you address the fact that there are people that will have had their mind made up forever, and they're going to say, you're guilty, you're a cheater, you're this, you're that. You're never going to sway those people. What do you have to say for the Blue Jays fans here that have remained Chris Colabello fans and, are still with you and want to see you get your name cleared?
They're awesome, man. Like I still get, I get support. It's weird, like on social media, like I still run into some crap here and there, but like there's so many people that send me nice messages that I honestly wish, like going back, I wish like I could go back to 2016 and have that perspective that I have now, toward how many people really had my back and supported me, because it would have been so much easier to deal with this. The thing that killed me, right? And I think, anybody that knows me knows this. Like, it just takes me a minute to get used to things. Like, I have to figure out how to adapt to them. And for whatever reason, and not for whatever reason, like, obviously it was a pretty devastating thing to have happen. And it's so easy to just hear the rumblings and people talking smack. And like, the funny thing was, all those people that were going to talk smack were probably going to talk smack anyway about something else, whether I went 0 for 4 or, they wanted another guy to play first, or they're going to say I was too old, or I couldn't play defense, or my batting average on balls in play, or whatever. So, I think there's so many fans that I built relationships with, and I wish I could do it with more of them. I think one of my favorite things is to see how vested like people are in us and how much of a difference we can make in their lives. And I try to do the best I can. And obviously there's only so many hours in a day, but like anytime fans like reach out or say something nice on social media, I have a tendency to like it or try to comment back or whatever. And sometimes it's hard. Like I'm not like spending all my time on social, but it means a lot to hear support. And I think, I just hope it's a reflection. Like I hope it's a reflection of the person that I was and how much pride I took in being a Blue Jay, I have to say a Blue Jays because it's not a Blue Jay. Like you're a Blue Jays, right?
Yeah, you say Blue
No, I
Jay.
think Blue Jay.
Yeah, Blue Jay works.
Team is the Toronto Blue Jays, so you can't say I'm a Toronto Blue Jay. I'm a Toronto Blue Jays. I've always gone through this exercise. It's weird because the plural of
Hey, Mick Jagger doesn't say I'm a Rolling Stones. He says I'm a Rolling Stone.
So anyway, I like Toronto is the greatest time in my life. Like I'm a Blue Jay through and through. Like I don't, as much as my time in Minnesota happened before, I'll consider myself a Blue Jay for life. Like I loved everything about that place. I loved the people. I loved the country. I loved the city. I loved where I stayed. I loved where I went and got coffee. I loved, stores, like everything about Toronto and Canada and the way they received us, even in the off season that year. Kevin and I get to do some appearances. We went to Fort McMurray and Saskatoon and went to Edmonton. And it was so cool, man. Like I'm so thankful for the people there, and that because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. It's the people, right? It's the people that make up a city, a community, a country. So I get choked up thinking about it because it was so great. I'm glad I could have an impact on people's lives. Like that was the thing that mattered the most. Like I got to make a difference, and I'll never forget. Like I hit the double off Hamels in game 2. And I remember like I was looking at the dugout and I was like, let's go. And then I got to second base and I looked up behind home plate and the crowd was pretty loud at the time. And I went, let's go up behind center field, like behind home plate. And the crowd changed decibels. And, to think about being able to have an impact on that many lives and how many people were vested in what we were doing. It's the stuff it's the stuff dreams are made of, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. And this is why, Chris, this is why, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, before I knew any details of what they were reporting, I knew that's not Chris Colabello. There's no way he's doing something like that, because I knew you as a character in the short time that I got to know you. But I've considered myself a good judge of character. I got to know your dad, Lou, and your mom, just wonderful people that's why I've stuck. This is why I still want you to come on the show. This is why I still reach out to you because, I've had your back there since day one.
Appreciate you, Barry. Much of the crap I give you, man. I appreciate you, dog. That means a lot. It's I hope like the only thing I can, I've always my parents taught me well, and I think you just pray that people will when they think back to me, they'll reflect on their experiences with me instead of, whatever, like something they read or saw or heard or whatever. And I think that's the thing I wish the most for people in general is that they, before they pass judgment on things, just get to know the people that are involved. Because at the end of the day, like, who am I to judge anybody? Like, until I get to know something, and that's the society we live in, unfortunately. But that's the thing that matters the most is when I hear people that, recognize my character through my actions. And I appreciate that. So.
All right. We can't end on a sad note. So let's end on a funny note. Okay.
So you mentioned.
No, even better. Okay. Character wise. So we mentioned Justin Smoke's going to Japan to play baseball. He meets Muninori Kawasaki on the first day at camp. What advice does Muni give to Justin Smoke?
Hey, Cow, what's going on, man?
Hello, Justin. How are you?
I'm doing great, buddy. What's going on with you?
We never scared. Kawa never scared. Just throw, just hit, catch, just woo! 2015, half Kawa English. Very good. Way better than 2016. Yeah, I have 2 books, bro. You remember that when he did that with Bach? He goes, yeah, I have 2 books, bro.
Hey, listen, I still like every.
This is unbelievable. Like, who does this?
Listen, every few months, somebody retweets that interview I did with him about monkeys never
How
crap.
did you not lose it?
Oh, I lost it because I'm a professional, man.
No. Like, I kept seeing your face. Like, you were like, so wait, it was just a cramp? No, because monkey never crap. You know, like, wait, what did you just say? A monkey never craps? No, because monkey never craps. How many? You know, I have banana.
How many did you have? Yeah.
3. I can do hours in all 4.
Have you ever done Muni for Muni?
Yeah, probably. Like there's so much funny stuff that guy did. He big poppy, Kawa little poppy.
Oh yeah, I
Kawa.
interviewed. I've got.
He big, Kawa small.
If you go to YouTube, you'll see the interview I did.
I watch him all the time. I show him to people. I'm like, do you realize I had to play with this guy? No, and the best thing about Kawa was when he didn't understand a question, he would always go like, and people would like rephrase it. And he'd be like, yeah. When you saw Kyle going, yeah, you knew he didn't understand the question, but he was awesome. He tried so hard, and I think he was so genuine. That's why people loved him. The dances.
Do you ever talk to him?
I've been trying to get in contact with this guy for like.
So have I. Yeah, me too.